And we are live. This is Jeff and Jeff Talk Tech
We're
Volume
here.
8. We are
We're
here. We are
Volume
here.
8. Now,
It
wait a
is a
minute.
miracle.
That doesn't make sense, Jeff. This is Volume 8, but there's been 2 weeks since Volume 7. So how
Right.
is this? Should be 9. This isn't 8. What are you talking about?
Right. We wanted to give the audience the distinct impression that we both were abducted by aliens.
The old alien out of the bag trick.
Right.
I remember. Yeah.
Right.
I didn't think we were going to pull this maneuver, like the carbonite maneuver. I didn't think we were going to pull the alien maneuver so soon in our careers as podcasters. But you know, you got to pull that card, and sometimes you got to do it.
Yeah, this has been our most anticipated episode because it was the only one where we took a week off.
Yeah.
A full week off. We had a delay earlier. I think it was between 3 and 4. We had a delay. We ended up doing it on Wednesday and then updating it on Sunday.
Yeah.
So,
one of our biggest fans, they almost cried themselves to sleep at night, every night, because they missed our show.
Right. So, it is what it is, man. We are taking 2 weeks worth and we are packing it into 1 week. And then
that's the benefit or the gift we give the audience.
Right.
You get to have all this content just crammed down your face holes. And there.
Imagine two Big Macs for the cost, and the size of one. You know what I mean?
Right. And fries.
Yeah, you don't even have to eat 2 Big Macs and fries. You're gonna be full, like you had to.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So.
Wow. That's
a whole lot of value. A whole lot of
value here. We're the McDonald's of podcasts. We're the Ronald McDonald of podcasts. This is awesome.
Right.
I've never had a quota like this, but this is sick.
That's good. That's good. Yeah.
All right, well, let's jump right into it, man. Let's jump right
absolutely.
into it.
So I want to let you talk about. We had 2 major conferences this week, right? First was the Microsoft in order of appearance, right?
Right.
And you're definitely more of a Microsoft guy. You're a full-time Microsoft guy. So
right. And so I did exactly. I called off work. I shut my family out, and I spent the whole day watching the Microsoft announcement that day. No. But anyway, this update was the newest version of Windows that's coming out, and you all would say, "Hey, so that means Windows 11 is coming, right? Next fall." Spring. And no, that's not the case. Microsoft is not going to release a new version of Windows anymore. Windows 10 is it. So this next version of Windows is called the Windows Creators Update. Okay. And it's going to be an add-on to your existing Windows 10 product or software, but it's the Creators Update. And so in the announcement, they announced some pretty cool stuff if you think about it. So they have this 3D paint technology now. What happens is you can take a picture with any phone, doesn't have to be a Windows phone, any smartphone, iPhone, whatever, of an object, and then bring it into Microsoft 3D Paint and make it into a 3D object. Or you can draw a 2D shape, push a button, and now it has depth and it's 3D. It's a 3D object. So that's really cool. I mean, think about if you had a 3D printer and your part broke on your thing and you just want to, or you have a picture you drew or your child drew, your daughter or son, you could just 3D print it instead of using your regular, inkjet printer. So I think that's a pretty cool feature for this creators update. Also, Windows VR, the HoloLens and different headsets, they announced pricing. It's going to be $299. I thought it was going to be way more expensive than that, but for the HoloLens, it's going to be $299. Starting at $299. I think there's different versions and things like that, but you can read more about that. There's a lot to cover, so I just want to go through it. Xbox Live streaming. It's going to be built into the Windows platform, into the Windows 10 Creators Update. You'll be able to stream from your PC to Xbox Live. That's going to be sick. I mean, because when you stream on your Xbox, they've already had that. It's difficult to edit, difficult to play with, live, things like that. Imagine on the PC, you get all the power of your PC, and now you get to stream live. So I'm excited about that. They have this Windows People section where you have different contacts from different sources. It could be text messages. It could be Hangouts, any product. You'll see the person's bubble head at the bottom of the screen and then you can chat with them there and respond to them, and it'll come back as a text message, or it'll come to them even though you did it on your PC. That's not that exciting to me, but some people may like that sort of thing. I go through all that very quickly because I want to talk about the granddaddy of the announcement. Okay, the piece de la resistance, as they say.
French. I don't speak a lick of French.
I have to pull out my French every now and then. I only know several words. I know how to say poop in French. I know how to say what I just said. And I got to pull those out every now and then. But the Microsoft announced their very first desktop computer. Can you believe that? I've never thought about it like this, but Microsoft never had their own homegrown desktop computer.
Wow.
Yeah, it's the Surface Studio.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Did I say Surface Studio? I mean Mac. What's the all-in-one Mac? What is the all-in-one?
That would be the iMac.
The iMac. They announced their iMac. I mean Surface Studio. Oh, excuse me. I misspoke there. It's a very beautiful product, man, and I want it. I'm unfortunately I haven't become rich yet from doing these podcasts. I mean, it's coming, but I'm not rich yet. So I can't really afford this studio. It's $3,000, starting off at $3,000. But it is a beautiful product, man. I'm really excited about it. The specs aren't as great as you would like at a $3,000 machine, but it's got touchscreen. It's on this huge hinge. The screen is beautiful and big. 28-inch display, and it folds and pivots. You saw the product, Jeff. What do you think about it?
You're a PC guy. I'm a PC guy too. I work on PC as well, but I'm leaning more towards the Mac side of things as far as my passion goes these days. And my first thought was this is an iMac.
Yeah,
like you said, and a lot of the similarities, that you've got integrated hardware and integrated software. You've got software that's built in and integrated hardware, kind of a company designed hardware presentation. There hasn't been a tilting, this is kind of a meld between a PC and a tablet. So you can switch it to a standing desk type of thing. I think that there is some really good stuff going on here. I like to see Microsoft when they're behind the 8 ball, and I like to see them when they're thinking outside of the box. This is the same position that they were in right before the launch of Windows 7. If you remember, they were kind of getting gunned at from all sides. They didn't have a good control on media or mobile. They weren't doing very well in the marketplace, and then Windows 7 kind of reevaluated things. The parallels to this and what Apple's doing are, as an Apple guy, arguably an Apple guy, this is kind of breathtaking as far as the parallels between Apple and Microsoft. But do I think that Microsoft is in a position right now where they need to be aggressively throwing stones at Apple? Absolutely. And do I think that that's better for computing in general? Absolutely.
Yeah.
The more,
this is always good.
The more these two big dogs duke it out, and I'd like to see Microsoft get back in the ring. I don't think they've been in the ring much recently. The more these two big dogs duke it out, the better off computers are going to be in computer tech, and PC technology, I guess, is going to be. So, yeah, that's my thoughts.
Yeah, man. Well, that's I like the idea of them doing this product because it pushes their OEMs in a different direction as well. It's like, listen, you guys need to step up your game. The computer industry itself, the desktop computing is dying down because of laptops and smartphones and things like that. You guys need to step up your game, talking to the OEMs. And if you don't, we're going to do it for you. And AKA this product right here.
We need to
So
reimagine what it means to be a desktop computer, right?
exactly,
Yeah, so
exactly.
that's where we're at. And I agree. I don't think the desktop computer is really necessarily going away.
No, no,
I
not
think
at
it's going
all.
to be reimagined. You know,
Right.
you'll have things like this hanging on the wall of your living room, or sitting on the desk of your living room, and kind of,
Right.
yeah.
I
So
mean, and it sucks, but it could go two ways, right? The PC itself could become a specialized product, like a plumber's tool that they use once and it stays in their toolbox or something like that, like some weird thing, or it morphs into this super thing where everybody has some kind of computer PC built into their house or wall or your desktop, something, it could be one or the other. And if they don't start reimagining it now, then unfortunately it's going to turn into this, hey, I got to use my computer to do that. A computer? What is that thing again?
right,
So,
right,
so that is going to go, it's never going to go away. I don't think it's ever going to be gone, but we'll see where it goes.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, for sure.
But anyway, the ad for their product, this new product, and I played it earlier. It's beautiful, man. If anything, the ad is straight up Apple like. And if you don't believe it's Apple like, take a look at this supercut someone did of the Microsoft announcement and
Yeah,
the
man.
Apple announcement
Yeah,
cut together.
yeah,
If you,
for sure. That
I'll show the screen here now.
my my girlfriend actually sent me this, and this blew my mind. So this is the launch of the Macbook Pro, which
Right. Look at that. Just similar. Look at this. For all the audio listeners, this is look at that, man. It's both videos playing side by side, their advertisement for the new Microsoft product and the advertisement for the new Apple product. And they're just the same ad. They're so similar.
right,
Yeah.
right, and it's when I see that starburst of color there, and it's on both screens at the exact same time of the ad,
Yeah.
that's where the coincidence of these two being similar dies. And it
Yeah.
happens, yeah, right there. That's where it dies. One of
So,
these companies is saying to the other, we know what you're doing,
yeah.
right? We know
Yeah.
we're aware of you.
I think Jeff is talking corporate espionage. Dun,
Yes.
dun,
And
dun. Where's my sound effects machine? I don't have one.
yeah, or maybe they're both aware of the majority of what they're doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's clearly one of these companies is putting a direct jab at the other here.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, this was on 9gag as the website. This is the website that leaked this
Mhm.
side by side, but clearly we've got two companies that are very aware of what each other is doing,
Yeah.
and very aware that they are in competition with one another. And that's why these ads were created. It wasn't to take the other one's good idea. This was for a group of advertising executives to go, hey, to another group of advertising executives, we know
We
exactly
know.
what you're doing, and we're
We
going to
know.
beat you.
Yeah.
This, so, um,
Yeah.
so yeah, and
Yeah.
so I
That's
found
great.
that interesting, and just to kind of roll right into the, I don't know if you had anything else to say about the
No, so
Microsoft
that's it
event.
about the Microsoft stuff, and just to say, I'm happy for them that they're doing this. I'm happy that they're moving forward with the technology and trying to do something a little different. Will it work? I don't know. How many will they sell? I don't know, but at least they're trying and moving forward, and I'm happy with that. But
Yeah,
so that was I think Wednesday, and then the Thursday, Apple had an announcement, and I think
Apple had
you
announced.
I called you, and then you answered the phone and say, "If you call me again, I'll kill you." I think because you were busy watching the show. I think.
Right, right, right. Yeah, exactly, exactly. Yeah. So same thing. When there's an Apple event, I kind of am blind to the world for a little bit, and have my blinders on and just kind of focus on the event. Um, there was basically what this event was not a huge, not as huge as this was at the Moscone Center, which is a
Yeah.
smaller, more intimate venue. This is where Steve Jobs chose to speak quite a bit, and this is where he released the iPod. for the first time. So it's kind of a more intimate environment. And the first thing they're talking about here is Apple TV and having Twitter side by side on the Apple TV. And we've seen this in other platforms before. I believe the Xbox actually does that already.
Yeah.
So, and then we've got, some new iTunes integration. We've got the ability to do something else that the Xbox does, which is search across your Amazon Prime, your Hulu, and your Netflix. So it's gathering together all those APIs and giving you the ability to search across them all. Then we jump right into the MacBook Pro, the evolution of the Mac, um, and they start talking about the keyboard, and they kind of glance over this, and they made the touchpad a little bigger, and then they go right to what I think is the most important part of the launch here, and that is the new touch bar.
Wow.
So yeah,
And
Jeff,
can
you
we just
pause there.
say, you nailed it? I mean, you said they were going to do this. You nailed it, man.
Yeah. And I now keep in mind, I don't have any kind of magic crystal ball. I have a couple websites that I read on a daily basis, and I kind of look at the links and try to think, okay, what's going to be logical for them to do. So we've got Microsoft, to kind of rewind a little bit, we've got Microsoft turning a PC into a touch computer, and we've got Apple turning a standard computer into more of a touch computer, right?
Right.
So
Right.
they've got an integrated display on here that is also a touch strip.
Yep.
So, and they're clearly kind of going to this. Now, what I think is the takeaway here: your function keys are gone. If you're on a Mac, what your function keys look like. So you've got your ability to launch certain items, to move up and down on your volume, to move up and down on your contrast. You have one key on there that has an ability to be customized. The F5 key can be customized to be another shortcut. But the main thing that you use the function keys for is, if you're a Mac user, a basic Mac user, is you use it to bump up and down your contrast, and you use it to bump up and down your volume, pause and play videos. What this does is it digitizes those. So you're in, I think at this point they're in iPhoto, right? And they're scrolling through their photos
Right.
using the touch bar. So they're not reaching up on the screen and touching it there, but they're scrolling through the photos on the touch bar. And they're personally, I think I've always liked this idea. It's not the highest resolution display in the world. You're not going to get any kind of really big media. That's what your Retina display is for. But what this is supposed to be is a dynamic software-based keyboard that.
Now, I know you haven't used. I don't mean so. I know you haven't used this before, but from your impressions, what do you think? Do you think that touching on the screen itself would have been better than this approach, or this is the right approach for touch, or maybe both is what you need? What do you think? And then, do you think that's the right placement for that touch bar? Should it be on the side of it, on the top of it, on the left of it? You still have to reach up. So I'm not saying either way. I'm just asking your opinion.
I think replacing the function keys, it was about time. I think it's about time.
Okay.
And I think getting there's a couple interesting things they did here that aren't coincidence. They decreased the travel on the keyboard a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
The first, if you're a Mac guy, you get very used to the way the keyboard feels, and they decreased the travel on the keyboard, which is one thing that they talked about previously. The reason why they did that is, I personally believe that going forward, this is going to be a touch screen. The keyboard is going to be a touch screen. You're going to have two Retina displays that unfold, basically.
Wow.
You can
Okay.
hold it either way. Either way is facing up, and you type on
Wow.
them. And them bumping the travel of the keys to be a little narrower is getting you closer to the feeling of touching, typing on a screen.
Wow.
So I personally think that that's where they're going.
Okay.
There's a one spot in here where the lady, I believe she's editing pictures. It's a little further ahead than this.
Let me see.
Yeah, if you could see forward a little bit. Yeah, this lady with pigtails. Um, what she talks about here is she's basically she's using two hands, right? And she's modifying the color with her left hand, and then she's actually painting and drawing with her right hand. She's
Mm.
selecting a tool, selecting a gradient, and then painting with her right hand on the touchpad. And she said that the feeling is similar to painting or
In real life.
composing. Yeah, composing music or yeah, I think she used like composing music as the feeling. So both hands are engaged, right? And both hands are accessing something. And it's kind
Right.
of like a yeah. Um, so I like that in that yeah, you're drawing on something with your finger and you're just doing little fine adjustments on the color at the same time. You know what I mean? And it gives you
Right.
kind of more of a this isn't a paintbrush and pad anymore. This is a high powered PC.
Mm.
You know what I mean? And it
So you're not okay. So this is where I was confused at. You're not saying that this thing sort of gives her the feel of real life painting. This is more of a step beyond real life, an extra life
right,
painting. It's
right,
not a copy of it. It's an enhancement of it.
right. So imagine if you could modify the paintbrush as you're painting the stroke on the canvas. You know, that's really the kind of feeling, and that's why I think that this is a little bit on the groundbreaking side. Because yeah, you can do that. You can modify the brush as you're painting with it. You know, um,
Nice.
and then they go in, and we were talking before the show about how DJs are the most important
Yeah.
customer to Apple right now.
Yep.
Well, not the most important customer to Apple right now. I think the most important customer to Apple right now is the iPhone
The
customer.
iPhone
But
customer, right? You mean
the
it to their Mac line?
yeah, the biggest people that buy MacBook Pros um, are your artists, your DJs, and
Right.
they give examples of both of those. This is a really great keynote, I think, as far as they've gone. But the one thing that I think is the most important thing on the new MacBook Pro, and I want to talk real quickly on some of the downsides to the new Mac Pro or some of the perceived downsides. But the most important thing is Touch ID is finally coming to a computer,
Oh wow.
which
Yeah.
is which is a good thing, in the Apple world. We finally have authentication through a fingerprint, and that's going to be the exact same way. It's going to sync up with your iCloud, so your fingerprints will cascade across to your iPhone and your iPad and now your Mac Pro. So and you can unlock everything right from the touch of your finger. And obviously they're going to have situations with proximity coming in here soon too, which will be relatively interesting. So, for example, you hit your unlock on your phone, and all the Mac Apple products around you will unlock at the same time.
Oh wow. Yeah.
If you're not around that Mac at that particular time, it's not going to unlock. So if you're at work and you unlock your phone, your Mac at home isn't going to unlock. It's only going to unlock when you're in the room with it. So with this Touch ID, I personally think it's a brilliant thing. So you hit your Touch ID on your PC, and your phone is sitting on the desk. It's going to recognize that and unlock both devices in case you want to use either one of them, and vice versa. So having that on there has been. I know I personally think that they waited a little too long, but they wanted to make sure it was perfect. So,
Right.
but yeah. So um,
Nice.
a couple of the perceived, and I'll go through these real quick because one of them doesn't have any validity. Um, you know, People are saying, well, that there's this big underlying thing that you're going to need more cables for the MacBook Pro that you never have. They standardized the jack to a Thunderbolt, and they made them all the same. And they removed the power adapter. They left the headphone jack. But there's a lot of people on the interwebs, and most of them I think are PC users that are they're saying you're going to have to spend $600 on cabling to even have a Mac Pro and an iPhone. And they're
Yeah.
using these real creative ways to kind of wire these two devices together that doesn't exist anymore. That the Mac and the iPhone and the iPad do everything wireless now. Wireless sync. Uh, we don't have wireless charging yet, but we have wireless sync. We have wireless media streaming. We have wireless photo sharing. We have wireless just about everything. Um, so you got a power cord on both. You got a headphone jack on your Mac, and you've got the ability to AirPlay between the two, so you can send media over, stream media back and forth between the two. There's the Thunderbolt ports and obviously the headphone jack. They wouldn't remove the headphone jack on the MacBook Pro. That would just make too many DJs too upset,
Right.
to have to carry an extra dongle. That's exactly right. You can, and I personally didn't agree with removing it from the iPhone either. But they're going to sell a lot of Beats with that choice. So kind of
Nice.
an evil thing, and that's
Yeah.
the bottom line on that one. But a great event. My girlfriend was honestly looking for this device, and I think she's happy with the changes. But this is going to be her first Mac, and we may kind of weigh our options on maybe getting a MacBook Air, because they're getting a little long in the tooth, and the original MacBooks long in the tooth now as well. So we think there are going to be some other launches coming up, hopefully before Christmas. Hopefully this isn't the latest and greatest Mac product before Christmas. Hopefully they release another, whether it
Nice.
be the MacBook or the Air. So, but yeah, I'll keep you posted on what she ends up buying.
Sweet. Let us know,
So
man. We're interested.
yeah,
If you
yeah,
can,
so,
if you can, hey, I hate to ask her this, but if she could do an unboxing boxing right here on the show, that
yeah.
would help. That would. It's up to you. No,
If
but
we
anyway.
if we can get her over some stage fright, I think we could probably do that. She will be in town.
Really
Yeah, the two of us will be side by side, obviously, on Christmas. She wants to get it for Christmas. So I
nice,
think that's
nice.
probably, yeah, that's something we could make happen. That's something we can make happen, probably.
I'm just
So,
saying.
yeah.
But anyway, yeah, man. So that's cool. Those two events. Again, we're a little late to the party, but the party is still going, baby.
It's still going. It's still
It's
going.
still going.
Um, so we had some other miscellaneous news happen throughout the last 2 weeks, and we kind of filtered
Yeah.
it to we filtered it to grab our favorite stories of the bunch.
Apple and Microsoft aren't the only two companies in the world doing stuff.
Exactly. So the one, where do you want to start on this list? Do you want to start with that outage? You want to start with the
Yeah.
outage?
So we did go over the outage in our previous episode, episode 6, but we hadn't had a time to digest the information. But now that it's happened and it's over with, we can kind of go more in depth. And Jeff knows a lot about this topic here.
Okay, so what had happened is a few years ago, there had been a hacker. I forget the name of him, but this didn't make mainstream media. It made it around the kind of hacker underground. He had found some security cameras that had a very specific Chinese chipset built into them, that were basically, their administration panels had a back door in them, and they were these are all live on the internet cameras. The back door basically allowed you to get root on the device. So you could have a full terminal. You could have basically a command line type of thing, like you think of like the old DOS days. This is the same as DOS, well, similar to DOS, but on the Linux side of things. So you could get in, you could ping websites, you could view the contents of the limited hard drive on these security cameras. And the original hacker was a white hat or a gray hat guy. White hat being ethical hacker, and he published in his report, after he discovered that he could get into these security cameras. He said, "How do you feel at the moment that you reached the realization that you could bring the entire internet down.
Oh my gosh, I think I remember this story.
Yeah, so I know Steve Gibson, which we're both fans of Steve Gibson. He had written about this gentleman and finding this vulnerability.
Yep.
They kept it under wraps, and they tried to kind of trying to keep it under wraps as long as possible. And I think that eventually it just got into the wrong hand of some hackers, and they used this exploit to attack some. The main company that was attacked was Dyn DNS. So we were right about that.
Right.
Dyn DNS was the main company, the main source of the attack. So they took these internet cameras and they pointed them at the company that keeps you safe from
Attacks like this.
internet attacks like this, and as a result of that, people's Netflix was going down, people's this, that, and the other thing was going down, and it affected some websites. I didn't feel a big impact by it, but I was having trouble with my Netflix for a while. I was able to log in, but things were just moving real slow, long load times, low like 166 pixels I was streaming at. So I was getting like a mobile network streaming from my home computer.
Yeah.
Wow, something's going on here. Something's wrong with Netflix. And then I just, I got busy doing other things.
Yeah. So, and just to help people understand the attack a little bit better, these internet cameras, and there were some other routers and other devices that hackers got into. So you go to the store, you buy the camera, you put it on your network, bam, you're all set. It goes online on the internet. Well, hackers were able to scan the internet and find your camera, and then use that to attack Dyn DNS, or just do this sort of attack. Well, your camera is just one. What about 1 million cameras from different locations? So let's say the DNS company wanted to block this attack, the hacker's house. Then they can say block that hacker's house, and that's it. We're done. But it was coming from your house and my house and another person's house who all had this camera that they bought. So it's impossible to block that sort of thing. And these cameras shouldn't be so easily hackable. And the funny thing is the virus that went on these cameras, because they're so light on storage and all the things like that, they didn't save themselves. The virus didn't save itself to the hard drive, right? Your computer gets infected. It saves itself on your hard drive. And then whenever you reboot, turn the computer off, you turn it back on, the virus is still there. Well, if you turn off this camera, the virus is gone. Boop, you cleaned it out. It's erased. All set. But then, because the cameras are so easily hacked, the internet will scan for cameras, see yours, which isn't infected anymore, and get reinfected right away. As soon as you reboot it, it's infected.
Exactly. So what Jeff has pulled up, this is the attack. This is the attack heat map. So this is where the reception of the attack was.
Right, and this is not where it came from. This is where it went to.
If you look at the vulnerable devices heat map, it is literally all over the globe.
Holy moly!
Literally all over the globe. This specific chip is in a lot of devices, and the right now, I believe that multiple world governments are talking to the manufacturer of this specific chipset in China, and they are figuring out, okay, which ones can be emergency patched, which ones need to be taken off the network, which ones need to be scrapped or recalled, and they're going through that whole negotiation process right now. Initially, what the company said was, yeah, we're not replacing anything. We're not supporting anything outside of our realm. And I think several world governments kind of said, you're not going to do what? Are you saying you're not going to do anything to fix this problem? And then they're back to negotiating, and they're back to talking, and so they realize the importance of this.
Right.
Yeah. So
the last news I heard about this was that they did do, some of these products from these manufacturers did a recall. So all they have to do is update the firmware, but because there is no internet-based firmware updating process, they did a recall. You have to return your device and ship it back to them, and then they'll put new firmware on there and ship it back to you. Yeah. That is insane. This is the day of the age of the internet, where my Angry Birds app gets updated every freaking second. And how
Yes.
can update my security in my camera?
Yeah, exactly, man. And then,
So
you get these, the day and age of the internet when information shares so quick, the how you learn to steal somebody's wallet is really fast, right? You pull up
right.
a text file and you learn the best way to steal somebody's wallet. Well, it's the same thing about launching major internet attacks like this. And these devices have been sitting out there for some of them 7, 8 years now. And that's
Yeah,
why the company's like, this is ridiculous.
this is ridiculous.
Why should we have to go back and look at security 8 years
8
ago
years ago.
and replace those devices?
Yeah,
Well,
it's ridiculous, man.
yeah. So that is what it is. But what a cool story, and what a interesting. If you
Yeah,
love security, what an interesting series of events.
right. The whole thing, and just to think the whole internet went down like that, that is so awesome. There's a better report than we're doing. I have a link. I'll share it in the show notes. That gives more in depth. I have so much detail I would like to share about this, but it gets a little bit too geeky. So just know that if you have, what is the summary? If you have a device like this, one of these cameras, any Internet of Things device in general, just make sure you keep it on a secure network, change the passwords on there, and buy from a reputable company. These Chinese knockoffs and cheap things, they're cheap for a reason. And you're just creating it just because it's like when you don't take your vaccines and things like that. You're just making everybody else sick because you're getting yourself sick. So
A friend of mine put this in the simplest way possible, and I thought this was a really good way to word it. There should be exactly 0 devices on your personal or business network that don't auto update themselves. So you look across your network, things that don't automatically update and move to the latest version of software should be removed from your network, especially if they're camera equipment. You want to stay on the latest updates of everything, because that's how you guard against this kind of thing happening. You don't have the ability to look at every device in your network and figure out whether or not it's secure. But you do have the ability to say, I'm not putting anything that doesn't auto update on my network anymore.
exactly.
So so that's the bottom line on that.
That's a sad note, man. But let's get on a happier note here if we could. So another company that's doing a great job is Adidas. Man, Adidas took all this ocean garbage and plastic and things like that, and recycled it, and made a sneaker out of it. A really cool, nice looking sneaker out of it.
Wow, man.
That is nice. Yeah, I pull it up on screen here for you guys. Give me a second.
Yeah, I've been an Adidas guy for years. I don't know about you, Jeff, but
I love Adidas.
I love these shoes. When you mentioned that you had an Adidas story for us today, I was like, oh yeah, look how comfortable those look.
Oh man, this is nice.
Are they Boost? Yeah, they're Boost too, aren't they? Limited edition recycled shoes.
Nice. That is so sweet, man. Just taking all that gunk from the ocean floor. Look at that. If you're watching the video, just recycling it, and no gimmicks, no nothing. Just took all this plastic and melted it down and made shoes out of it. I mean, you don't get more recycled than that.
Yeah. I rave about my pair of Boost Adidas so much that I actually forced my girlfriend to buy some.
Oh, nice.
I actually talked her into buying some because they're literally like walking on a cloud, and I can tell they have that same sole, that Boost sole on them. Yeah.
Look at these things on the guy's feet.
Yeah, they're sharp, aren't they?
Nice, man. For recycled shoes.
Yeah.
So that's awesome. I thought I'd just share that bit of light with everyone. Light story there. That makes me happy. But anyway, let's go down to the Nintendo story, man. No more dark stories. Let's go to this new NES Classic. So we both here, Jeff and I, are Nintendo fans.
Absolutely.
And definitely. True. And we said that we told you guys in our very first episode that they were going to release this new console, which was just a little baby version of the original Nintendo. And it's here.
Look at the two side by side there, man. Doesn't that bring you back to your childhood? Looking at those two side by side.
Heck yeah.
Um,
Heck yeah, I'm waiting for my sister to bust in the room and say, "Let me have a turn."
right, exactly, exactly. So
Oh
here
man.
I'm gonna let you. I'm gonna let you say what you think about this because
Yeah, so we talked about this in the original, our very first episode, and I was excited about it coming. I mean, it sucks that it's the games aren't removable. You can't blow the cartridge and slide a new game in there and all the stuff like that. They're hard coded games. You get as many as comes on there. That's it. No internet, no Wi-Fi. You know, the review. I don't have one, but the reviews of this device are saying the thing that I kind of felt as well. The simplicity of this device is what makes it awesome. You turn it on, you pick your game, you play. There is none of this crazy stuff, which I actually enjoy on the Xbox and all the things like that. But sometimes you just want to be simple, and I like the idea of this console, man. It was a nice thing for them to do, and I'm glad they woke up and did it.
yeah, absolutely. Like the reviews that I'm hearing are that that controller is basically spot on the original
Ooh.
controller as far as feel and size, but people are putting it in their hands after 20 years, after a 20-year lapse of holding an NES controller and
Mhm.
thinking that it's the wrong size. Not because it is the wrong size, but because they've gotten to be a
Their
different
hands are
size
bigger.
in the last 20 years. Yeah, so I found that kind of interesting.
Wow.
The navigation is really cool. It'll actually mimic an old CRT monitor, an
Oh
old
yeah.
CRT TV.
Yeah.
It'll actually give you the scan lines on the TV, and I guess it looks pretty cool. It'll do like a fill aspect ratio, where it'll fill the screen fully and so you make use of your whole 53 inch. And the menu system seems spot on. Great software from Nintendo, like they always do.
Right.
It's just,
Yep.
you know what I can't help but think here, man. This is a series of choices by Nintendo. This is just a bunch of clear-cut examples of them following what the fans are telling them to do. This is
Yep.
this is an area where Sega made a ton of money making these little miniature inexpensive consoles, and Nintendo's gonna sell a ton of these over Christmas. They're gonna sell a
Yep.
ton of these, man. And what's this old library doing for them right now? It's not making any money. It's just sitting there. Some of these great classic games are just sitting there. Double Drag, I mean, come on. I played every single one of these. Dr. Mario, Excite Bike, you know what I mean?
Excite
Like,
bike. Oh.
it's so basic with the AB button thing, but maybe some kids would find some fun out, some of these games. The original Final Fantasy, if you're a video game fan and your Nintendo broke years ago, it's worth it to just revisit these games like Kid Icarus and the original Legend of Zelda and the original Metroid and all these games that made everything great. This is iJustine, which she's one of my favorite female podcasters, but she's actually going through the podcast process, and there's one part in here in
Mm.
great iJustine fashion where she points out what I think is the biggest flaw of the console:
Uh-huh.
wired controllers. She goes up to her
Oh,
huge, massive 75-inch display and plugs it in to the HDMI port, and
oh,
then
look at it
realizes,
boxing. Oh,
yeah,
and I'm about to
and,
break out in tears.
yeah, and then realizes that she has to sit on the floor to play it.
What?
Yeah, because her couch isn't close enough to the TV anymore. She's used to everything being
Oh,
wireless, and that's the way we all are. Um,
get away
so
from
I
that console, puppy.
right, right. So yeah,
Nice, man. Yeah, it'd be
we'll
nice if it
link
was
this.
wireless, man.
Yeah, for sure. And it couldn't have been that hard for them to do. Maybe they'll do a version 2. They're listening to feedback right now.
Or what if somebody makes a mod?
Yes, they very well
Yeah,
could. They
yeah,
very well could.
that'd be
Um,
nice.
yeah, they very well could make a mod or an
Oh,
adapter.
oh my God. An adapter, or imagine a portable version. You put a screen on there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there you
that'd be
go.
nice, man.
Yeah,
Oh man,
little.
this is sweet.
Isn't that so cool? You know?
Look at that little guy.
Yeah, man, that's awesome.
Sweet. So I'm glad we're able to cheer people's days. Any more about this, Jeff? You want to?
No, I'm good. I'm just happy to see Nintendo. I'm happy to see Nintendo doing what they're doing. I really feel like a year from now they're going to be a different company. They're
Yeah,
making some good choices. You know what I
making some
mean?
great choices, man. That's so
Yeah.
good.
So.
Okay, so that's all the news that we have for you guys this week. I mean, it's been a jam-packed week, and we had to whittle down the news that we could do. So I'm happy with the stories that we picked. But every time we do an episode, man, and we don't do this on purpose, we have new trailers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So this week,
We
Jeff,
sure do.
what do we have this week?
Um, you
Wait, hold on.
haven't.
Before we continue, is there any more Power Rangers trailers? No.
No.
Oh, okay. Okay. Oh,
No.
okay. Okay. Whew. Oh man.
Thank goodness, because I know I was looking for that. No.
But
The one thing nerdy that I wasn't a fan of, and
yeah.
he's a super fan. So
Oh yeah. Definitely.
um,
Definitely.
yeah. So,
The,
what's the trailer you picked? Because you were responsible for picking this. I didn't even know it came out, man. And now that I
man, oh
know, I was
man.
like, yes.
Man, oh man. This week we had a release of the Wonder Woman trailer. DC has finally got their SHIT together. Man, this trailer looks awesome. Awesome. So the one just a brief history. DC's trying to do catch up with Marvel, and they want to do a whole universe, right? They want to have just like Marvel, and I mean just like Avengers and all that. DC wants to do it too, but they started so late. So that's what they did with Batman versus Superman and all the stuff like that. But I haven't enjoyed any of the movies, man. This whole new generation of DC films, I have not enjoyed at all, man. And I haven't seen Batman versus Superman because I keep hearing bad reviews about it. So it's like, I'll watch it. This, man. This looks. They did it. They finally did it. Warner Brothers. Thank God you finally did it. DC. This is it, man.
Yeah.
I hate to make this prediction and be wrong when it comes out, but the acting looks superb. The actress that plays Wonder Woman looks like she belongs. She is so. It seems like she's a superwoman who's naive and smart all at the same time, and that's a beautiful trait to have in a human being. It's like Superman. He's strong. He kills. He fights. He can do it. Batman. He just confident. He can do whatever he want to do. He no flaws. These guys are superheroes with no flaws, and it's hard to get invested in them. She is like confused, but she shouldn't be because Batman is so strong. She's so strong. As a writer, you could write her as I'm going to come in and wreck shop, and if she's not like that, it's like I'm going to come in and try to see what's happening. Oh, I'm going to have to wreck shop, and that's what she does. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
it's awesome, man. This just looks so. It's perfect. It's like she was forced to be a fighter. It's like
Yeah.
I don't want to beat you up, but hey, watch me beat you up, and it's like yes, this is
and
the
this
colors, the graphics, the animations, the everything, man. The CG. Look at this thing. I'm watching it now. Oh my god.
I'm getting a very Captain, like how I felt after watching the Captain America trailer.
Yes, very much so. I didn't think about it like that, but you're right. Look at Femascara, which is for those who don't know. Back up, guys. I'm a huge DC fan. When I was a kid, I didn't know nothing about no Marvel. When I was growing up, I was all DC out, and so of course I know Femascara, where where the Amazonian women come from. Their land looks like. Look how beautiful that is, man. Oh man, that is nice. Yeah, I'm excited.
Cool,
as you guys can see, I'm excited.
Yeah, that's very cool. I said something about Batman v Superman, and I don't know, maybe some people will disagree with me here, or whatever. It's subject to interpretation, but my favorite thing about Batman versus Superman was not Batman and Superman. It was actually this young lady, specifically her acting and the Wonder Woman character. I just felt was really, really strong. And every time she was on screen, I found myself wondering what she was going to do next.
Yeah.
And
wow.
I wanted to know more about her. I remember going home after Batman versus Superman, and I watched some YouTube videos on who Wonder Woman was, because unlike Jeff, I wasn't a DC guy, so I kind of familiarized myself with the background of this character, just because this woman to me is so compelling, and her powers are so compelling, and her screen presence is so good that I wanted to know more about this character. So I would love to see DC hit it out of the park with this one.
Wow, me too, man.
It'll bring little girls into the story.
Yep.
It'll bring my daughter in, hopefully, to a superhero movie, which would be awesome if they were able to do that.
Yep.
And breathe new life into a character that we haven't seen on the screen in a while.
Yep.
So,
So it's funny you say that, because now that I couldn't put to words what I was trying to express about her characteristics in the trailers that I saw. But the best thing I can say is Spider-Man. I keep telling you guys I'm a DC fan, but my favorite superhero is Spider-Man. That's the only one Marvel character I know, and my favorite, because I used to do gymnastics and I wanted to be Spider-Man. But yeah, my favorite character of all time is Spider-Man, and then my favorite universe is DC. But her character arc that I'm seeing here reminds me of Spider-Man. I'm not saying because she's a female, it comes off like, oh, she's naive. I mean the naiveness of Spider-Man. He was a kid, he got bit, and now he doesn't know what to do. He's not strong. He's just a naive guy, but he stepped up to the plate.
a
That's what
reluctant hero. Yeah.
That's what I love, those kind of guys, and that's what I feel she is as well.
Yeah.
She's in this trailers and stuff, which makes it makes you feel like that could be you.
Yeah.
That you can't be Batman, right? He had billions of dollars. You can't be Superman. There's no way you could do that.
Right.
Even Iron Man, you can't be Iron Man. I could be Spider-Man. He was a normal guy. He got bit, and all of a sudden he's strong. I could be Wonder Woman. She was just a normal girl. Well, she was in Themyscira, but she portrays herself as, I'm just a person doing my life. All of a sudden, I got to step up to the plate. I like that idea, man. I love that.
I like how we're getting. This is the first in hopefully a series of original origin stories from the DC universe, because Guardians of the Galaxy is a great example in the Marvel side of things. I had forgotten about Guardians of the Galaxy. In Marvel.
Mm-hmm.
I remember reading some of the books as a kid, but I forgot about it. And it was nice to have them breathe new life into that story. And I think that's where they're going with this. At a time where, in the 1920s, when Wonder Woman first came out, it was specifically, when it was originally set, it was specifically released to kind of say, okay, girls can have superpowers too.
Right.
And they were trying to sell comic books to the little girls, basically. Right. And that's what they ended up doing. And I feel like DC is realizing that that's what they're trying to do with this movie. They're trying to make superheroes cool with little girls again.
Right. Yeah.
And as the father of a daughter, and I know you've got a couple daughters yourself, Jeff, I'm cool with that.
Oh yeah.
Let's give the little girls some of the superhero stuff,
Yeah.
So
a girl lead superhero.
Yeah.
That's
so
nice.
So absolutely.
I'm excited about it, man.
Very good.
Yeah, so that's all entertainment news that we have. Jeff, man, it's been 2 weeks. You have to tell me you've been playing with something technology-wise, right?
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. This is a reluctant playing with. I scrapped everything that I was playing with. Because I ended up being forced into a situation when you play around with technology. Sometimes something doesn't work the way you want it to.
Of course,
you're always gonna have that happen. And next thing you know, you find yourself in this loop of playing with something that you didn't expect to play with, basically.
Right.
Like fixing something that you didn't expect to fix. So, I'm sure you guys have noticed. Well, you may not notice because my audio was a little better there for a while because I was doing some things with my Mac and using my Mac microphone and my camera from my PC on my Mac. Well, I'm back to my podcast studio being my PC, my Windows 10 PC here. And I actually, good buddy of mine, his name's Jeff. He looks similar to this guy. Swung by the... Yeah, very close to him.
Very close. Okay.
Yeah, very close to this guy.
Goddamn handsome guy. Jeez.
Yeah, Jeff actually stopped by and dropped off this is a... I'm going to give a little more of a review of this next week. The problems with setting this up were not on the microphone. Although, and you guys can tell I sound a little different. Sound a little better. So I got my personal audio nailed down, dialed down perfectly. At this point, man, I plugged this thing in and I was thinking, okay, I'm just going to plug it in and I'm just going to stream information. I'm just going to go into a Hangout and I'm going to test it and everything's going to work perfect. The reality was I had to go through 15 different settings to stop the microphones, to stop the mic level from decreasing on its own. Like the microphone was turning itself down on its own, and I had to go into Skype and remove the tick for the auto gain volumization, and then I had to go into Windows and remove a tick there, and then I had to update a device driver, and then I had to test it out again. And there's really no simple way in Windows to hear what your mic hears and have it play back to you. The best way to do that is through Skype.
Yeah, call yourself on your phone or something like that.
Yeah, call yourself on your phone. So it had just been a while since I hooked up a studio quality microphone. And seeing how poorly, I guess, Windows is set up that kind of thing.
Right. Yeah.
Frustrated me, and how easily Microsoft could take a look at this and just make some subtle changes to make it easier for a DJ or a recording artist or a podcaster. Set up this equipment, just build it into the operating system, build in the testing devices into the operating system, and maybe I'm just not familiar enough with it to know, or maybe I'm just getting into audio production and I'm talking out of my, whatever, but
man, it should be easier, man. Maybe we need the creative update. That's what
right.
The creative update or an update called a Macintosh, I guess.
So after 4 hours of poking around with device drivers and settings and watching YouTube videos on tutorials from podcasters, my microphone sounds fantastic.
Nice.
My voice doesn't sound any better, but my microphone sounds fantastic.
Yeah, I'm not any smarter. I may sound smarter, but I'm not.
Right. Nice. Yeah. So
yeah, man.
So that's the story of my microphone. Man. Yeah, it's all right.
Yeah. I mean, as long as you got it, it's working. That's good. I mean, that's the only thing we can hope for. But so, on my end, what have I been playing with? So I did. I ordered some new headphones, man. I got some new headphones. So yeah, I'm wearing them right now.
Bro, you didn't consult with me. I am shocked at you. These better be good.
Yeah, these are awesome. So. These headphones I got, this was my process. So I needed new headphones. It's a funny story. I was using my buddy's headphones from work, and he loaned them to me like a month ago. And then, look, we got
everybody say hi.
Guest in the show here. This is my daughter, you guys.
Hey.
And she loves my new headphones too. But anyway, all right, go play. Daddy's on the call. All right, so anyway, a little cuteness. We had to take a cuteness break there for a second.
Yes.
But anyway, no. So yeah, my buddy let me use his headphones for like a month or so, and which was awesome. Thank you so much. But I bought headphones to use. I bought them. They sucked, so I continued to use his. He was like, "Hey man, I need my headphones back that I loaned you." I was like, "I bought new headphones, but they suck." So he was like, "Well, yeah, get these sharper ones." So I ordered these sharp headphones, and I was like, "Well, I want something Bluetooth, but I want regular plug-in headphones. Do they make anything like that?" And Amazon came through. If you guys take a look at these headphones, man, they are Bluetooth, but you can also.
Okay. Yeah. Nice.
I was like, "Oh, this is so sick. These are sick." So, yeah, that's awesome. My PC doesn't have a Bluetooth dongle in it. My phone obviously is Bluetooth. So when I'm doing this podcast, listen to my music on the computer, I do this. When I get ready to walk around, I just take my headphones and take the Bluetooth with me, and I never have to take off my headphones again. If I need to take a shower or do anything, I just keep my headphones on. Yep.
Very nice. Very nice. If you want to get, go skydiving, go skydiving. See the Grand Canyon. Leave your
Grand Canyon, right.
Yeah. Exactly. Well, that's good stuff, man. Yeah, I've been looking into it again once. I'm interested to hear what your impressions are after having them for a couple of weeks.
Right. Yeah, let me do that. Yeah, I'll keep them for like let me play with them all this week and next week. And the next episode or maybe the next one after that, I'll give my full review. So far I like them, but maybe it's first time buyers love because I just got it. Let me play with it for a while. We'll see. How's the battery life, how it works with the wire and that. So they sound okay. They're not the best sounding in the world, but I'm very happy with the way they sound.
I'm happy with this microphone as well. So maybe we'll plan it out and do a mini review on both the microphone and the headphones, and we'll make this a kind of a podcasting starter kit type of idea.
There you
go.
So
in a week we'll come back with a review to let us know what we'll let you know what we thought, and if you're looking into getting into podcasting or recording video or whatever from your computer, this is how you do it.
Nice.
So,
all right, you guys, I got to get out of here. I'm getting the signal from some beautiful girls, I have to say, that Daddy needs to go. So I have to get out of here.
There's one of them. All right. Well, you guys have a great day. Take care of your dad.
It's a beautiful day today, and we're going to try to have a great day.
Ooh, that one looks sleepy.
Yeah.
Better give her some candy or some Mountain Dew or some Mountain Dew with candy put in it.
Yeah, candy plus Mountain Dew. Yeah,
that'll wake her right up. Yeah.
Candy 8-ball there.
Do they? Yeah, exactly. So when my daughter gets tired, you know what she does? She says, "Daddy, maybe I'll just drink a Mountain Dew first." Mountain Dew, and then
she's like, back in action.
She's Wonder Woman after that.
There you go. There you go. Wonder Woman.
All right, man. We have 1 week till our next podcast. And we're leaving on the
We won't let you down next week. We will be here. We promise.
Unless we get abducted by aliens.
Again, these damn aliens keep abducting us, man.
right. Yeah, exactly. So this is where can they reach you real quick?
Yeah, so Jeff, you can reach me, Jeff Me Jones. I'm Jeff Me Jones on YouTube, on Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, Twitter, all of the social webs. Jeff Me Jones, you'll find me there. And also we have our GitHub project that we're doing for a chat service. I'll put the link in the description. We need any help that we can get. Firebeat Chat is the name of the project, and that'll be awesome. All right. What about you, Jeff? Where can they find you at?
Facebook.com/Jeff Moses Jr. Jeff Moses Jr. at gmail.com. And don't forget to like and subscribe to the show.
All right. Definitely.
Awesome.
All right. We'll catch you guys next week.
Great show, man. Have fun with your kids today. We'll talk to you.
We'll talk to you.
Bye.
Thanks, bro.
Bye, girls.
Bye.